Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. It's me, Niall, here giving a quick follow-up reaction and kind of prediction for the future of Nishant Dev, the rising hot Indian prospect, as he went 3-0 this past weekend on Saturday night in Frisco, Texas, as he stopped Jaquan Evans, the American, in the last round of their six-round contest, of course, the undercard of Bam and Fumalele Kafu. Yeah, I'm going to be discussing, what I think of Nishan Dev, and most importantly, how far can he go? He's kind of taken the Indian boxing scene by storm. Anyways, he could be the next superstar. Of course, former Olympian, very unlucky not to medal in the Olympics. Controversial loss to Marco Verde, which cost him a medal. Former world championship bronze medalist in the amateur. So yeah, standout amateur talent, and he's making waves now in the professional game. Signed with Matchroom Boxing, fought three times this year already, and's gone 3-0 with two knockouts. And yeah, he's gaining some traction. He could be the next big Indian superstar boxer. He could be the India's best ever boxer by the time it's all said and done. But he's only 24. The sky's the limit for this fighter, it really is. And he's shown all the right signs so far that he can go to the top. So, yeah, I'm just going to be kind of discussing what I think the future might hold from the immediate future and the long-term future. So, yeah, before we get into things, just don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to our YouTube channel at ESBR Boxing if you're not doing so already, for a lot of outstanding regular content on a regular basis. So yeah, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, let's jump in. So Nishant Dev, as I say, 3-0 now, coming with a good amateur record, with a world championship bronze medal, and should have medaled at the Olympic Games. A lot of people think, but yeah, he's on the rise now in the pro ranks. Turned professional in January. Under the Matchroom banner, big signing for Matchroom Boxing when he turned over to the paid ranks. Fought in January on the Diego Pacheco Stephen Nelson undercard, fought on the Cambosis Hitchens undercard, and then of course this weekend, as I said, another stoppage win, round six against Jaquan Evans, the American, and yeah, he's looking good. Southpaw, quick southpaw, good reflexes, fast hands, aggressive. And yeah, heavy-handed by the looks of it. Two knockouts so far and his three wins. So he can bang. Beautiful footwork, getting in and out of range. Real quality fighter. Of course, he still has a lot to learn about the professional game. Understandable, being so new to it. He is still rough around the edges in that regard, but he's shown positive signs so far. And what I like about Nishan Dev is he's been improving fight by fight. From his first fight in January to his second fight to this past weekend, he looks a lot more refined. As I say, he still has a long way to go, but he's doing all he can ask in terms of improving fight by fight. And he proved last weekend against Quan Evans that he can kind of fight in the inside. There was times across those six rounds that he stood in the pocket with Evans, showed off his kind of inside fighting ability, and he looked good. He got the job done, breaking Evans down and stopping him in six rounds. So, yeah, he's got a big future now. It looks like he will be fighting on the September card between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. So, he's already gaining huge traction in terms of his social media numbers and his views, for his fights with the Indian market, and that's just such an even bigger platform in September. The Canelo Crawford card in Las Vegas, an even bigger platform to showcase his skills and his marketability, not just the kind of the Indian market, but the rest of the world. He has a lot of the top attributes to be a big star. He has the look, he has the ability, he has the backing, he has the promotional backing, he has the charisma. He's getting more comfortable on the microphone. If you listen to his previous interviews, his recent interviews, I should say. So he is gaining confidence, and he has the if factor. He really does have the if factor. So yeah, to conquer that Indian market, they have a new superstar. They really do, and they needed it. India never a big boxing hotbed. They've had Olympic medalists in the past. Vijender Singh, of course, winning bronze in 2008. But apart from that, it's not a massive Indian hotbed, so boxing hotbed in India. So Nishant Dev is what they're looking for. Absolutely is. And yeah, in terms of potential future opponents now to kind of match him with, there's talk of maybe a future fight with amateur rival Amari Jones. Also turned pro this year, also 3-0, three knockouts for Jones. And that's a fascinating fight. I know it won't happen next or in the immediate future. They're both so kind of young into their professional experience. But if you let that kind of marinate a little bit, don't leave it too long. If they fought kind of late into 2026, early 2027 maybe, or even a bit earlier than that, that'd be amazing to see. No point in really protecting, they learn more from whoever loses that will learn more from the loss. They won't be defined by a loss to one another. So, yeah, Amari Jones, Nishant Dev would be an outstanding fight, soon enough, sooner rather than later, when they both kind of maybe approach 10 fights or so. I'd like to see that fight, of course, Amari Jones, Olympic medalist himself, turned pro this year, as I say, in January, and looks good. He is a very good boxer, of course, with that amateur background. He's quick, very upright, nice jab, solid jab, not as aggressive as Nishant Dev, but he's doing the job. He can bang as well. Obviously, three KOs in three fights, so yeah, he's paving his own way, and they've already had a little bit of kind of back and forth between them, with Jones flexing his medal on Nishant Dev. And, there is the history there from the amateurs they fought before. So there is, you can market that as a big, big fight in America. As I say, I know it won't happen until 2026, probably at the earliest, but it's one to look forward to in terms of future. In terms of the immediate future opponents for Nishant Dev, as I mentioned, he's on the September card against, he's on the September Canelo Crawford card, I should say. Opponent unconfirmed as of yet, but obviously he's not ready for kind of world ranked fighters yet, top 15 fighters. Even though he is talented, you could look at the very bottom of the super welterweight division, the rankings of that. It's a red hot division at the minute, but I can't see them kind of giving him a world rank fighter yet. There's the option of maybe Pablo Valdez, which I think is a really good option. I think Pablo Valdez is the option for Nishant Dev next. Pablo Valdez, veteran, 42 years old, big puncher, unbeaten, but he's not fought anyone of note at all, to be honest. So, yeah, 9 knockouts and 10 wins. He can bang, and he would test the chin of Nishant Dev. He would hit Nishant Dev, he would land. So he'd prove if Dev can take a shot. But he is very beatable. As I mentioned, he's 42. He's very heavy footed. He's not very quick handed. He's easily hit, but he can bang, so he will come to win. He will come with ambition to maintain his own unbeaten record. Fought only on the same card at the weekend as Nishant Dev. So yeah, that could be one that they're setting up for September. I know he's early into his pro career, but he does have a good amateur background. He is clearly talented, so I'd like to see him in with that level of opponent first. He's clearly good enough. He could come unstuck, but it'd be a test, but a test that he's good enough to overcome. So yeah, that's the fight for me. Pablo Valdez against Nishant Dev in September in Las Vegas, hopefully, on the Canelo Crawford undercard, and then we can kind of revisit after that. Is he ready for world ranked fighters? Is he ready for kind of fringe world level fighters? And could he eventually win a world title? I know it's probably a long way away, but he could. There's no reason why he can't in the future. As I say, it's a red hot division, 154 pounds at the minute at the top of the division. You've got, Fondora, Zhu, Crawford, Murtazaliev, Ortiz, it's red hot. It's probably the best division in boxing. But by the time Nishant Dev, only 24, gets to the top, they'll probably all be gone or near enough to it. So, he could be the next superstar. Him or Mary Jones could be the number one and two in the division heading into maybe 2027. So it's there's a lot of kind of optimism around Nishant Dev, and rightly so. He is looking the business, he's looking the part, and yeah, I can't wait to see what's next. So yeah, that was just my quick thoughts on Nishant Dev, India's unbeaten boxing superstar, after his win this past Saturday in Frisco, Texas against Shaquan Evans, and just discussing what I think the future might hold and what the ceiling is for Nishant Dev. Still only young, but plenty of potential there. So yeah, let us know what you think in the comments. Do you agree with what I'm saying? Is the sky the limit for him? Can he be a future world champion? Maybe. Would you like to see him in with Amari Jones soon? Let us know what you think. Drop a like on the video, as I said at the start of the video. If you're not doing so already, subscribe to our YouTube channel at ESBR Boxing and follow us on all social media. Until next time, take care.